Hello, this is Chops, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about the lore of the Android universe. In the next couple episodes, we're going to talk about the moon and the lunar colony of Heinlein. There's a lot of information about Heinlein and the moon from our sources. Half the board game takes place on the moon. Detective Rick Harrison visits the moon in Freefall, and Mimic from the Identity trilogy takes place almost entirely on the moon. Additionally, there are many moon-based cards in Netrunner, including the entire lunar cycle themed around it, where we got a cool short story about Nasir visiting the moon in search of the source. The purchase of New Angeles from Ecuador, the capturing of the Challenger planetoid, and the construction of the Beanstalk was all part of the plan to build a colony on the moon as part of the Quinto Accord. The agreement put the Beanstalk and Heinlein within jurisdiction of the city of New Angeles and therefore the United States. Having a base of operations on the moon gave a solid jumping point to the rest of the solar system and made the colonization of Mars much more effective. Most importantly, though, the moon provided a resource that is more valuable to the advancement of our civilization than anything on Earth: helium-3. It's an isotope of helium, 1 neutron and 2 protons in the nucleus instead of the usual 2 and 2 found in helium-4. It's extremely rare on Earth, and although we can manufacture it by decaying tritium, it is much easier to collect it from the surface of the moon. The lunar surface has been collecting it from solar winds streaming out from the sun for 4 billion years. However, it takes 100 million tons of lunar surface material to recover 1 ton of helium-3. But strip mining the surface of the moon is cheap, and if done on a massive industrial scale, it can be lucratively profitable. In the Android universe, it is used in fusion reactors to generate cheap, simple, safe, and clean energy that provides very low radioactive waste and doesn't use radioactive materials. Eventually, we'll be able to collect the stuff from the gas atmospheres of Uranus and Neptune, but until then, the Earth depends on lunar mines for over 90% of its electrical power. With that said, the recovery and transport of helium-3 has made New Angeles by far the wealthiest, most prosperous city on Earth, with 20 times the gross domestic product of the rest of the United States combined. Now, it's no surprise that control over this kind of cash flow is something that people would do anything for, and the competition for this mineral was one of the major contributing factors that led to the Lunar Insurrection War, one of the bloodiest wars in history, as well as the first to be extended beyond the Earth's atmosphere. There isn't a whole lot of information about the war other than it ended 15 years prior to the current Android timeline. But you can't build a moon base just on money. They mine ice water at the poles in subsurface veins, which provide the colony with water and oxygen, as well as hydrogen for hydrazine, which is used as a monopropellant rocket fuel. Titanium and silica are common in the surface collected while mining for helium-3, which can be fused into fairly strong building materials, including anhydrous glass. The Challenger planetoid provides the moon with nitrogen and carbon. The surface of the moon is a harsh, blasted, empty, barren waste with dust so fine it gets into machinery and spacesuit seals with ease. The temperature swings from -243 to +224 Fahrenheit in time with the 4-week cycle of day and night. Combined with the exposure to solar radiation, micrometeorites, and the vacuum of space, life on the moon isn't terribly safe. That's why most of the loony population on the moon live underground and refer to it as living in the moon and not on the moon. Working on the moon is also very dangerous, and the high demand from lunar industry created a labor shortage in Heinlein, which is the main reason why Jinteki introduced clones and Haas made bioraids in the first place. Most travel on the moon is done by tube lev, and loonies wear spacesuits around their waists in case of a sudden loss in air pressure. With the 1/6 Earth's gravity on the moon, there's a large geriatric community that retires here because it's easier on their bodies. So, in the next episode, we're going to land on the moon and explore all the different places in Heinlein. To conclude, I've made a Blue Sun deck to show the power of helium-3. Thanks for watching.